Did we get you online?
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Just not the way I was hoping. But you know what? One of these days I'll get the Bluetooth thing figured out and we will be just fine. So, I guess it's about that time. Are you all good and situated?
Yeah.
Awesome. Let me get you pulled up on my computer. I can see you on one screen, not the other. Um, all right. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for anybody joining in or watching in the future on the Aussie segment Productions. And today we have a special guest with us. We got Jayme of Marshal Rock Radio.
Hi,
How we doing
guys.
today?
Trying to get that situated so I'm right side up. How are you doing this afternoon?
Oh, I'm doing fabulous. Looking forward to listening to your story.
Okay.
If I can find my lighter. Oh, there's my lighter. So yes, um, yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. Um, so as St. Anger Productions, I fully support our local music industry. What are your viewpoints for local music?
I think the local music is exploding right now. We've got some awesome musicians in Oklahoma and all around the world, actually. Since we're an international station, local is wherever you are. So we've got local from Australia, local from UK, Germany. I mean, it's
All
it's
over.
worldwide. So
Yeah. Local does not depend on your location.
that's right.
That's why I'm trying to do stuff like this to be able to connect our local industry, regardless of where you're at. That almost seems like that's what you're doing too.
Sort of. I play a lot of classic rock mixed with the local rock. I was doing it separately. I started out doing the local show back in
Mm-hmm.
23, and it got to be where I was thinking, why am I separating the local music from the classic rock when it's all great rock music? And it
Mm-hmm.
flowed, I could make it flow together to where it sounds great. So I
Absolutely.
started mixing, the local bands together with the Led Zeppelin and the Skinnerd and everything. And that
Mm-hmm.
seems to be a hit so far. People like it. I dropped the top 11 songs of the week this morning on Facebook, and we had what was it? 19 Never from
Mm-hmm.
Ponca City was #1 on the countdown this week.
Hell yes, that's special to me because they are literally 20 miles away from me.
Right. And I'm from Ponca City.
Even better. So yes, you know exactly where Tonkwall is at.
Yep. Yep. I
It's a small
actually
world.
got my first radio job in Ponca City at KIXR.
Okay, I know that station. I don't remember the numbers, but
Was 100.1.
the country. Okay, yes, 101 country.
Oh, it's country now. Then it used to be a mix.
It did, didn't it? That's been a minute.
Yeah, it's been a long time. I'm showing my age.
That's my line. Stop it. So, you mentioned the top 11 that you dropped this morning. What is the top 11?
That is when you're listening to Marshall Rock Radio, you can vote either a yay or a nay on whatever song is playing at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And we count up those votes every week, and that's what brings up the top 11.
Okay.
And it's top 11 because it's the Spinal Tap joke, turned up to 11. But it
Mm-hmm.
also just happened because on my iPad, when I screenshot the top 11, it was supposed to be just the top 10, but 11 always appeared there. So we just kind of made it a joke. But
Now it
it's
sticks.
one more than 10.
It works out. It's crazy how things like that happen. So,
But back when we started the local show, just a handful of bands. I'm going to give some shout outs if that's cool. Started with Aquafire as one. We started with Chuck Cooley that you just had on.
mm-hmm.
Just Hammer Lane Hippies. And people
Great people right there.
started sending me their music, and it was great. So I just started playing it and mixing it and promoting it on Facebook as much as I can, and going to their shows and buying their merch and just supporting as much as I can.
Do you guys hear
I've
that? You might
always
want to say that louder for the ones at the back.
supporting as much as I can.
And what are ways to support these local artists?
Play them on the radio, buy their merch, go to their shows.
Do you guys hear that back
That's
there?
what you do. I just came from a show 2 weeks ago. I saw Still Not, Circus, and Crimson Love
Mm-hmm.
playing at
Yeah,
the
you went live
Shrine
with that
about
too.
2 weeks ago. That was live. It was a
Mm-hmm.
great show. And then next Saturday, I'll be going to your neck of the woods to Ponca City to see another band, Fading Fast.
Let me check my schedule. You can come by and pick me up.
Okay.
Might have to do an interview sitting outside in the little smoking area.
Yeah, we could do that.
That'd
Most
be fun.
definitely.
Oh yeah. So, what are some of the key points along your journey to where you have contributed to the local music industry? You mentioned a little bit. Is there anything else to add to that you've done to contribute?
I've been in several bands. Like you, I'm a drummer.
Right on.
Started back in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it was the last band I was in was called Rattle Trap. And yeah, you can hear him on Marshal Rock Radio.
Okay.
Did that for a little while. DJ'd for a little while at 106.9 K hits. I did middays there for a couple of years. Not my kind of music really, but you don't always get to choose.
Mm-hmm.
I always wanted my own radio station to play my music the way I wanted to, and finally that opportunity came along and I ran with it. So here we are, enjoying the local bands, like I said, going to their shows, promoting their music. I get to listen to brand new stuff before anybody else does.
Cheater.
I get submissions from all over the world, like I said, from Australia, submissions from UK, Germany was one of our biggest supporters, and
Wow.
it's growing, and we started out as nothing, and it's grown so far. We're about 4,000 or so listeners a month every 30 days. So it's growing, and people are really liking the local music that I've added. You can tell in the top 11 every week, it's mostly local bands. People are, sending me text all the time. Who was that? What was that you just played? So
That was 19 Never. Go check them out.
that's right.
Mm-hmm. Just like this is Marshall Radio. Go check them out. After the interview, go check them out.
Definitely. You
Mm-hmm.
help me, and I help you.
That's the way it's got to be in the industry. It's like I shared something earlier. It's not a competition.
No.
It's not see who can make it to Metallica status first. It's let's work with each other and help each other grow.
That's right.
So that's the whole purpose of doing these is that I'm trying to help you grow through my followers that I've had either for a while or through these local recent interviews, through future interviews. Somebody may go back and look through the playlist that I make and see Marshall Rock. What is this? Oh, okay, I like this. And they can submit their music, or they can just become a fan and help contribute by having more listeners every month. It's all about supporting each other, whether you're the fan or you're top of the food chain of the industry. We got to work together, right?
That's right. And it's all good music.
Yes.
It's all good rock and roll.
Mm-hmm. And then there's also the rap scene. There's some country scene.
I don't know too much about the country scene.
I don't either. I'd like to.
I'd like to
It's
get
still
more
local.
into that. Maybe start a second station someday.
Marshall Country.
There we go. Something
Or we
like
could
that.
partner up. We could partner up, do like the Oz and Marshall locals show. If you're a local band from wherever, all over the world, whatever you play, let's hear it, and we'll play it.
Yeah, definitely. We'll do that.
There's an idea.
Everybody's got ideas, and I soak them up. My partner, Tony the Meat Man from Z104.5 The Edge, he's my voice guy. He's the one on the air with me all the time. And he's a great guy. He does all my voice work, and he used to do the top 10 countdown when we were doing that, but now I'm just doing the top 11. But it just got to be a lot of work just for me by myself to do, because everything has to be pre-recorded. Yeah, I can't go live yet, so I'm waiting on that. Fingers crossed I'll get my software to be able to go live myself. Then I'll get to DJ more, which is what I enjoy.
Yes, definitely fingers crossed that happens for you.
Yeah.
I know it is a lot of work too.
It's a 24/7 job.
Yes, it is.
Keeping it rolling.
Mm-hmm. You know, you hear other people that, you know, like Adam with the Surviving Rocklahoma, or Lori with Rock the Equinox. You know, it is a never-ending job.
Yeah. Yes.
There's always stuff to do. There's sponsorships. There's, well, like for you, licensing fees to be able to play music online. You know, there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that people don't realize. You know, it's more than just turning a knob on a radio and listening, or showing up to your favorite event and watching. You know, there's a lot behind the scenes work.
Yes. Which I learned a lot. Last year we did the Marshal Rock Oklahoma's Music Festival at Sparks, Oklahoma. We did that last September, and that's the first event that I've ever been involved in. And shout out to Mad Dog for that. He pulled that one off, and it was a great show. We had a great time putting it on. Had some awesome bands. We had 18 bands in 3 days.
Oh,
So
wow.
that was awesome. It happened
Who are
over
some of the bands?
Circus. Let me see. Beggar's Whiskey, The Big Cheese, Aquafire, Assault and Flattery, a bunch of bands.
I've been hearing a lot about Assault and Flattery, that they're really good too.
Yes, they're very good. And Travis is a good friend of mine. He requests a lot.
Checking out Bad Frogs Rising, have they submitted any music to you?
I talked to the lead singer, and she
Crystal?
said as soon as they have a good recording, they're going to send it to me. And that's something I'd like to add is, you know, I take music submissions from everywhere. Just send them to me. Send the MP3, not a link, but an MP3 and a cover picture, and send that to marshallrockradio@gmail.com, and I'll check out everyone that I get.
Okay. You'll have to put that in the comments after we're done.
Okay. We'll do that.
Mm-hmm.
But trying to
Awesome.
get music out there, support your local bands. We were involved in support local unsigned talent Slutfest 24 last year. We were involved in that with
Nice.
some Shelter in Place and some other great bands, Oklahoma Blood. I could just spout off band names, but I'm not going to. I'll leave someone out, and I don't want to do that. But
there's a lot of bands that's around.
yeah,
Yes.
And we're a proud supporter this year. Marshal Rock is on the big old bus, the rock bus this year for Rocklahoma.
For those not familiar with the rock bus, I do what?
3 of our bands are playing the rock bus this year: 9 Left Dead, Aquafire, and Beggar's Whiskey.
Nice. Congratulations to those bands. For those not familiar, what is the rock bus?
As far as I know, it's where there's there's a stripper pole, definitely. I've seen videos of that. But um, local bands get a chance to play Rocklahoma after the headliners. So after the headliner, you want to keep partying, you want to keep rocking, you go check out who's playing the rock bus. And I guess they're going to print up 200 t-shirts or more, and they're just going to give them away as well as sell them as well.
Wow.
Proud to be part of that this year.
And so that's at Rocklahoma
Yeah.
every Labor Day weekend.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And it's right along the main road, just right on your way out to the GA campgrounds after leaving the venue. Um, not too far from the general store and the showers. If you haven't been to Rocklahoma, number one, you're just missing out on the overall experience. But number two, Rock Bus is the bus that's it's the go-to party after Rocklahoma each night. Well, even before, like Thursday night, they are the go-to party that's right on the main road. Um, my good friend Rocklahoma's Hot Dog has been up there before. Did some dancing to Who Let the Dogs Out.
All right.
Great people there. So tell me a little about your journey and what made you decide that this is the direction that you wanted to go.
Well, honestly, I always wanted a classic rock station, but I kind of got a little bored after a little while with that, and I wanted to start reaching out, and I started going to shows and meeting people there, especially at Renee's bar. I would go there a lot and meet bands and, put them on the radio, promote them on Facebook, you know, do special shows because sometimes I get music that's too heavy to mix with the classic rock. So we'll do a metal show and showcase those bands.
Okay.
So everybody gets a chance to be heard. If you got a good quality recording, I mean, don't send me some crap recording from your
Right.
basement, but send
Yeah,
me
I
a
mean,
radio quality recording and we'll get you on the air.
there you go. Yeah, I mean, you can do recordings in your basement, but make sure you make them sound good. Don't
That's
over
right.
compress them, trying to compress out background noise and stuff. Don't add a bunch of EQ to it to, the special effects or reverb and stuff like that. You can kill a song that way. As remember, I'm also a sound technician, so listen to me. They need people like Marshall Rock or Surviving Rocklahoma or any of these other locals. If you're trying to get on with a festival like, say, Rock the Equinox, guys, make sure you have good recordings. It doesn't matter where you
Right.
do it; it's how you record it, the equipment that you record it on.
Yep. And that's very important if you want to get on the radio anywhere, not just, internet radio, but your commercial radio station. You've got to have a good recording.
100%. Then once you do the copyright stuff, once you get your music copyrighted and licensed, be sure to give some sort of written permission to these people too, as you're submitting your music. That just CYA, correct?
Mm-hmm.
What happens if you play music that's licensed but you don't play it with a license or the copyright permissions?
Oh, you get fined.
How much are
You get
those
fined
fines?
big time, and you get shut down. I'm sure. I'm not testing those waters.
No. So guys, if you have stuff that is licensed and you don't send that request or that permission and stuff like that, I
Yeah,
doubt they're gonna play it.
I don't play anything without somebody's permission. You know, if I hear someone on Spotify, I'll get in contact with them and say, look, I heard this on Spotify. I've got a radio station. I'd love to promote it. And I've met some of the most wonderful people in this community. It's just blown my mind. There's so many just upbeat, wonderful people.
Yes, definitely. And again, there's too many to name. You know, I'd be forgetting some.
That's right. And I know, I'll mention Beggar's Whiskey again. I know they're doing an acoustic set at Camp Rockaholics too.
Yes. Oh, Cynthia wants to know how much the fine is for playing music
I
that's.
don't I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I pay for my licensing every month, and that keeps me safe.
Yeah, she doesn't want to test the water and pay any more than she has
That's
to.
that's right.
So we'll just keep it on the legal side.
Definitely.
Um, yeah. So what are the non-specific to the local industry? What are some non-specific key point or key moments that you've had along your journey?
Um, like I mentioned, Slutfest was a lot of fun. Doing the Oklahomies Festival was the highlight of my year because it happened over my birthday. And it was like I had all these bands playing just for me, just for my birthday. So that was really awesome. Just getting to go to shows and getting to actually meet the artists and talk with them and play their music and get to know them and become friends with them. Hi, Amanda. Shout out to her from Aquafire. Um,
I got an interview with her later. I'd have to look at the schedule. Um, and Beggar's Whiskey.
awesome. I'll be watching for those.
Saturday, March 20, no, Sunday, March 30th at 6:30 is Beggar's Whiskey. Amanda of Aquafire, April 5th at 3.
Awesome.
I have Brigade, April 12th at 6:30.
They're good people too.
Oh,
They're
yes.
all good.
What?
They're all good people.
Yes, they
Good
are.
people.
Then I have Mario's Mixed Media, Tuesday, April 29th at 5.
I talked to him about putting an ad in the Rock the Equinox booklet this year. So there'll be a Marshall Rock ad to look for in his booklet.
And then get you a QR code.
Yeah, I've got a QR code.
Mm-hmm. So Cynthia's asking, how do I listen? Like, what's the radio station?
What you do is go to your app store, and it's Android and Apple. So you go to your app store and download the free WeLove.radio app and search for Marshall Rock Radio, and you can listen on your phone anywhere. And you can
Nice.
vote. If you're on your computer, it's a longer address. I'll post that on the comments below.
Okay. Yeah, that'll help.
The
That way it gets.
easiest
What?
way is just get the WeLove.radio app.
Okay. Yeah, that's stuff that we can put in the comments. I should have been taking notes then. So, what are some of the projects that you may be able to talk about that you have going on, or that you may have going on?
Right now, we're not doing much of anything. We're kind of resting right now and trying to regroup. Doing some re-imaging of the station, like different sweepers and different liners and things like that to update. Just work on the station, get that, squared away, get it a little more updated. I try and do that every couple of months. We switch out sweepers and liners and things like that. But it's just me and, like I said, my friend Tony, and he does great vocals, so he helps me out a lot with that.
That's good. So these sweepers, like what? For those that don't know what a sweeper is, thank you,
Oh,
Cynthia. What is a sweeper?
a sweeper is a jingle or something that is played in between songs that identifies the radio station.
Oh yeah, so you got to identify even on internet radio, huh?
You don't have to, but I'm used to it. From all the radio jobs I've had, I'm used to it. I still do legal IDs at the top of the hour, even though you're not required to do that anymore. But I still do sometimes.
Kind of help remind people who they're listening to, huh?
Yep.
Okay.
Make sure they know they're listening to the radio and not just somebody's playlist.
That is true. So speaking of playlists, you got to have some equipment that plays this music. What do you use?
I use Radio King, which is a streaming site for radio stations. They're based out of the UK.
Okay.
And yeah, they do everything. I mean, it's you you program it and it goes.
Okay. It's something on your computer.
Yes, it's a program that I run
So
all
if your
the time.
computer, so if your computer goes down or needs a restart for updates, does it affect it at all?
No, it's on a cloud. So
Okay.
no matter what happens to my setup, it still keeps airing. Whether I'm here or not, it keeps airing. So
I'm
I
sure you
go
have
on.
mobile access to it.
Yeah, I can access it on my phone actually.
Okay. Um, so then just from there, you update as need be, add new music, take music off,
Yeah,
change the speakers.
we add new music every week if we have new music to add. Sometimes it's one band, sometimes it's five or six. I get swamped sometimes, but I try to add as many as I can as soon as I get them. A lot of bands will have me pre-sale the song. They'll have me play it before it's released. That way people can get a taste of the song, and then when it gets released, they'll want to download it.
Yeah, it's different than buying CDs anymore, isn't it?
Yes, it's way different.
Do you think that helps you out? That it's mainly digital nowadays. Spotify, Pandora, Apple, YouTube Music, Marshall Rock. Do you feel that that's all helping
I
you?
I think it is. I think it is helping. I mean, 10 years ago I couldn't have done this because we didn't have the technology.
Hmm.
You know, I was at K Hits and I was playing, K Hits music, and I really wanted to be somewhere else doing my own thing. So,
Instead of working for the big person.
right. Right.
So yeah, to be able to get in like as it's starting, as it's picking up, that's the earlier the better. Make a bigger name for yourself, I'm guessing.
Try to.
And at least you're still within the first 10 to 20 years. We don't know what it's going to be like in another 20 years from now, so it's still early enough.
But
But now that we're going back to records, um, so what is your favorite project that you've ever done?
I gave away the first Pepsi truck on K Hits on my show. which was the most awesome feeling in the world. It was my show, and he won, and it was just, it was awesome. That's the most expensive, biggest thing I've ever given away, and I got to do it on the radio, and that was great. And then the Marshall Rock Festival last year was just way up there for me. I'd like to try and do it again sometime.
Well, I think we may know a few bands between the two of us.
Yeah, a couple.
It's almost like you need a production company to help you manage it or something.
That would be nice.
I'll
Because
have to see if I can
I'm a
find somebody.
DJ. I'm a DJ, but now I've had to learn how to run a radio station. So it's been a learning process.
I've been learning how to do the concerts, so
Yeah. And see, yeah, I wouldn't know the first thing about putting on a show. I don't know
we
where
might
I
have
would
to do
even
something.
start.
We might have to do something.
Yeah.
I'll see what I can do. So what are some of your dreams and ambitions for moving forward?
Just to grow and to promote more, to get more local bands in. I've actually been thinking about doing another station that was just all local music. But there again, you're separating them, and I don't like the separation. You know what I'm saying? I like the songs mixed together. I like I like to hear Beggar's Whiskey and Leonard Skinner together. So
Those
that's
do
what
go
we
good
do.
together. But on the flip side of that, like what was brought up earlier, when you have the understanding that there's a lot more to local music than there is just rock or metal, or it depends on what genre you like. Maybe you like all local country, or all local pop. The It's still local.
Yeah.
There's a lot more to it than just that. So you can still play some of the local rock stuff on one, and then do the all genres
Yeah.
of local on
Right.
another one.
And we could get more bands in that way and get more of the Brazilian death metal.
See, there you go.
That stuff goes hard. They go hard.
We need them at Rocklahoma then. Not my event unless I have some really good insurance.
Yeah.
Um, so then here's a good one that I know you could probably elaborate on. What would be one project that you would absolutely love to do, even if it is way out of your league?
I would like to have my own commercial radio station someday. That would be in my dream, is just to keep spreading music all over the world, sharing, set a time.
So something like iHeartRadio or satellite radio.
Yes, I'd like to get involved in more radio stuff. And like I said before, I was in a band, and we did record some stuff, and it's tough. It's tough getting started in a band, and we just didn't go anywhere. We recorded some stuff, and our lead singer had stage fright so bad we could never go out anywhere, so we never got to play in front of a crowd.
That makes it rough when you got that stage fright.
Yeah, especially when you're the front man.
It would be like Maynard, just hide in the shadows.
Yeah.
Then you can just blindfold yourself and you're just singing in a dark room.
Not sure.
It's a thought. You know, if you have stage fright like that, you know, and you want to get on stage, play like Maynard in the dark corner of the stage and blindfold yourself.
Or like
Then you can play in front of a crowd.
Jason and just turn your back to the crowd.
Oh, there's that too.
But yeah, something else I wanted to mention is that we are commercial free all the time. We don't.
How do you stay commercial free? If you're able to talk about that.
We don't monetize anything. We're not trying to make money off of local bands and bigger bands, and you know, we're just trying to spread the love, spread the music, share it as much as we can. Not looking to make money, not looking for commercials to be on there. I like it commercial free, and we do have commercials on occasion, but they're usually for just events, rock events, or music events.
So almost like an infomercial at that point.
Sort of.
Okay. So do you think it helps not having to have a bunch of equipment and high-speed internet to be constantly streaming from your own place?
Yeah.
That help save on utilities and stuff?
No, not really. We've got high speed internet that keeps us going.
Okay. At least doing digital, you don't have to have all the transmitter stuff like you do at the actual radio stations. You know, you used to work with one. You're
Right.
familiar.
All
Those can
I
pull a little bit
need
of power.
all I need is my computer and my microphone and my little mixing board. That's all I need.
There you go.
I can even take it with me on the laptop.
Okay. It just runs through the USB cable?
Yeah.
Okay. What kind of mixer do you have? We'll talk tech.
It's a PV. It's just a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 channel mixer.
Okay.
Don't need that many. I only use one for the microphone. I got 2 mics that are in here in case I ever get to do interviews. Which hopefully.
What kind of mics do you use?
Do what?
I was asking what kind of mics do you use?
Not sure. Sennheiser.
Okay.
Sennheiser mics. And I always use Dell computers because they seem to be the most reliable for me.
That's what. No, it's a Dell. The one that I have you sitting on right now. That I can see you streaming from the computer. That's also where I have my list at. But then I have the computer that I actually built several years back, running the questions that I have and stuff like that. So yeah, I have one Dell.
Awesome.
So the software that you mentioned earlier that actually does your streaming internet, is that also what you use for doing your mixing, like doing your voices and stuff? Or do you use separate software for that?
I use Adobe Audition, which
Okay.
is just another mixing software. And I usually record my voice in different tracks and blend them together and use that. And then I upload to Radio King and play it from there.
Okay. Yeah, it's a decent little tech. You know, like you said, you know, it's a nice little PV mixer. PV's a good brand. No, neither. I'm not endorsed by PV, but if I had my way, it'd be Rockville. But PV good equipment. I've used them years ago. That's what I first started with, was PV. Um, and just a couple channels for mics and sound effects if you need it or whatever.
Yeah.
You have room to expand.
Yeah. Plus,
Um,
we used the same mixer when we recorded our album.
oh, really?
So we've had it for 10 years now. Still
Still
works
running strong.
great.
Like I said, they're good equipment.
Yeah, definitely.
So, as an open topic, this is where I like to give people the floor to talk about anything that you feel important to talk about. Preferably besides all those hot topics like religion, politics, all that other fun stuff. Try, the debatable stuff, but something that's important that you feel that you need to talk about.
One thing I'll mention is something that Adam talked about on your interview with him is mental health. Is I'm bipolar, and it's tough to manage bipolar and the radio and everything else that I do. And your mental health is very, very important to take care of. Take
Most
care of
definitely.
your mental health.
Most definitely.
I'll say that.
There's another one that he had mentioned too that I remember. Don't be afraid of the word no.
That's right. You can't do it all. You got to say no sometimes.
Yeah, just some of those awful basement recordings.
Yes. You don't
Don't
say no. You just say, hey, you need to clean it up and get it back to me, and then we'll see what we can do.
some constructive criticism.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid of that, guys. Somebody's willing to offer you some help, whether it's another band or a DJ for internet radio or a DJ for actual radio. Don't be afraid of being told no. Keep trying. Do got other methods, but also listen to the advice. Don't be afraid to take a little bit of criticism that might help you.
That's right. Because us DJs, we've heard a lot of music in our days.
You've heard some good music and some bad music.
That's right. A lot of bad music.
So besides the locals that you gotten to meet, have you gotten to meet any, especially in your earlier days of DJ stuff, radio work, have you gotten to meet anybody famous?
Oh, when I was working for K-Hits at the fair back in 2002, I met Lizzie Hale of
Oh,
the
really?
Storm. They were playing the fair that year, and I got to meet her.
Still a pretty young band back then.
Yes, they were, and we got a CD that they all signed, and I've still got that. I'm hanging on to it.
Wow.
But yeah, I got to meet her and the rest of the band. That was pretty awesome.
Do you think they were, were they still early enough that they hadn't quite made it national, or maybe just barely national, or were they pretty well known by then?
They were somewhat national at that point. I mean, they were playing the state fair, so they weren't that big yet. Not like they are now, that's for sure.
Right. I didn't think so. So yeah, if it's still a fairly young band that was able to actually make it somewhere.
Yeah.
Everybody started local.
That's right. Everybody did.
Mm-hmm. So now it just comes down to the willpower to push yourself to keep working. Like Sprout mentioned, with the work. Work. You know, he kept saying that word, work. Put the work
Yeah,
into it.
you got to.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you're not getting paid for it, sometimes you got to.
Yes, you do. You know, I've done sound work without getting paid for it, and I didn't care. I was
Yeah,
able to go help them out.
that's
You know, I didn't buy all that sound equipment to be, you know, leasing equipment to Metallica and Tool and Carrie Underwood. You know, neither was I aiming for that. You know, I aim to help people out.
yeah. That's my goal is I want to make these local bands bigger, and if I can help just a little bit, then so be it. That's what I'm here for.
Mm-hmm. But local bands, you've got to help her build the playlist. She's not going to be reaching out to everybody on her own.
That's right.
If you want played, whether it's Marshall Rock or any other internet station or radio station, you know, think of your local radio station. Do you get in by somebody else submitting your music? No, you got to submit your music.
That's
You got to put in the
right.
work, make it sound good, make it professional, work to make a name for yourself, and work to get yourself out there.
That's right.
You said
We'll
you charge
help,
them how
but
much?
you got to do your own work too.
Yeah.
It's
So you.
like I noticed the band Circus, whenever they were releasing their newest song, Bread Like Mice, I
Mhm.
noticed they went to the mall and they actually put up flyers for people to see that they were releasing a new song, and they worked for it. I mean, who does that? They went out and put flyers up to advertise their new song, as well as, on Marshall Rock.
Good job, guys. Good job.
Yeah,
Um, I guess the only ones that would do that would be the only other ones would be Jehovah's Witness. I'm assuming. No, wait, no, they just go to door, not mall to mall. My bad.
right.
But that's the work that it takes.
That's
You know, when one door
right.
closes, they say no. Move on to the next door. Keep knocking. You can't give up.
That's right.
Um, is there anything else important that you need to discuss about Marshall Rock? Like, any tips and pointers that we haven't talked about, or
No, just listen, send your music, vote when you're listening, because that helps us to know, what you like to hear, what you don't like to hear. We switch music out, like I said, every couple of months. I'll switch out some of the classic rock for other rock, and you know, same bands maybe with different songs, and we try to play deep cuts of songs, like Deep Purple, and you get into those kind of bands, and I don't want to mention a bunch of them, but
right, Guns N' Roses,
yeah.
that one band, Kenny Wayne Shepherd. Oh, there's a lot of great music out there.
Yes, and I'm mixing it together.
And I'm trying to bring the people to come to you.
Yes, thank you very much.
No problem. Yeah, go subscribe to her, listen to the music, follow her on Facebook. Um, you said they can send their information and MP3 to your email.
Yes, marshallrockradio@gmail.
Okay, so send that to the Facebook page or send that to text message. Where do we send it to?
Send it to marshallrockradio@gmail.com.
Where do we not send it to, guys?
Facebook.
Right. That's all part of it. You got to listen.
Yep.
How many times have you had people do that? Like they want to try and submit music, but they go to Facebook or wherever
Not
Go
really.
check it out on SoundCloud. I have it there.
Yeah, they tell me I've got it on Spotify or whatever. I'm like, well, that's great, but you need to get it to me. You know,
Mm-hmm.
for one, I have to have the MP3 to load it into Radio King anyway, and I don't want to go through the extra work of downloading it and converting it and doing all this, legwork too. If you want it played, send it to me the way it's going to be played.
100%. Otherwise, if you're going to do all the work, you might as well charge them for it.
That's right.
That's your job, guys. Work. Or pay her, slip her some money, and she might do the work
Yeah.
for you. I don't want to mention how much, but or even do the work and save your money
Yeah.
and have a better chance of getting on with places.
But we're trying. I mean, we're working at it. So we just keep trucking.
I see you trucking every day, and I see you posting in my group saying your promotions.
Yep.
And what are you using that group for?
Using that group to promote the local music industry.
Promoting the local business, which also includes promoting yourself.
Yes.
That's what the group is for. Promote yourself. It's not my job to go around and sit there and share every single show flyer and every single new song drop or every single tour poster, concert, the festival announcement or whatever. This group is there for you to put in the work
Yes.
and advertise and get a bigger audience than what you have right in front of you.
Yes, and that helps everyone.
How
If
many
I've got
followers do you have on Facebook?
do what?
How many followers do you have on Facebook?
We're up to 5.4K on our Marshall Rock page, but I've got a private group that's Marshall Rock Radio, and we're
Mm-hmm.
almost to 1,000 members in that private group. And
Right
I
on.
tend to pay more attention to the private group than I do the page, because on the radio page on Facebook, other people can't post on
You're
it.
right.
So that's why I started the club, because then other people can post their flyers and their new songs and everything there.
Mm-hmm. That's
So
not for
even if,
submission, though.
yeah, you definitely have to have permission.
I mean, that's not for the submissions, right? Those got to go to the email.
Yeah, they still have to go to the email.
So don't be going into the Facebook group and like, hey, this is our new song, play it on the radio. Nope. You got to go through that Gmail account
That's right.
as an MP3, not a SoundCloud link.
Right.
Um, there's a band that's got 2,500 followers. What's the chances of them having the same followers as you would? Like basically, they take their small amount of followers and then they get played on your radio station. What's the chances of them gaining new followers and getting out to the people that they have no idea who it is?
That just depends on who's listening, you know? Um, like I said, I've got a lot of listeners overseas. So a lot of these votes are coming in from other countries, and requests are coming in from other countries. So it's not just around here, it's everywhere. So your music is getting heard all over the world if you're playing on Marshall Rock. I
So
mean,
somebody from Virginia has never heard of you until watching, let's just say, this interview. They go and follow you. They go to your email. They email you all the stuff you need, and you start playing them. They're gonna reach out to a bunch of people that they have no idea who each other are.
mm-hmm. Yep.
Guys, it only makes sense.
Everybody's connected.
Mm-hmm. don't be advertising to yourself. Advertise to everybody else.
That's right.
If you only have 1,000 followers, find ways to gain more followers. And not just followers, you got to gain the fans.
That's right.
Because just because you say you have 5,000 followers on Facebook, how many people
actually pay attention?
Mm-hmm. How many people go subscribe to the radio and listen all the time, or how many people is going to buy the tickets to go to the events? You know, I got 5,000 Facebook followers. I could do an event and bring in 5,000 people. How wrong is that?
That's that's not going to happen.
No. So just because you have Facebook followers doesn't mean a thing. You need your fans. So the more followers you have, the more potential you have for the fans.
Yes.
Brandon and I talked about that the other day. Brandon Young from Had Enough talked about some of the issues with social media that, I've got 1 million followers. This guy's got 1 million followers. We can book them over here in Tulsa and make a lot of money on it because there's going to be a lot of fans. Crickets is what they got. You look at your fan list versus your follower list. And if your fan list is like this, your follower list is like this, you're doing something wrong. You need to make sure you have your fans over here.
Right.
That's what's going to bring you your income. The ones that's going to buy your merch or play your music or go to your shows. It's not just your followers.
And I'm a fan at heart. I'm just a fan of music, and I just want to share it with as many people as I can.
Absolutely. We want to help each other. We want to help others.
Right.
Look, I got this little searchlight going. Lighthouse. Got the little spinny light going at the lighthouse, guys. If you want help, that's where you go.
Yep.
You go to Marshal Rock. She believes in you. She believes in you. You need somebody that's going to believe in you and have your back. She believes in you.
Definitely.
And you never know, you might end up being part of a big concert that St. Anger Productions puts on.
That would be awesome.
Finding music through you.
That would be awesome.
I do need to scroll through your followers list, see if I can pick up some new artists.
Yeah. There's quite a few people in the group.
And I am in the group too, so I wonder how much it'd take to get some of those from like UK or Australia.
I don't know.
Money? I don't know. That's going to cost a bit. We'll have to keep working. Maybe eventually we can get them here.
Yeah. We can do that.
But it never works out without having the support.
Yeah, that's right. Everyone has to support each other.
Mm-hmm.
The more people that listen to Marshal Rock, the more people are going to hear your music.
So you need more listeners.
Sorry?
It says so you need more listeners.
Yeah, always.
Mm-hmm. So if you guys are watching this and you're not in a band, go follow, go download and connect and be another listener.
Yeah.
Especially if you're tired to listen to the same old local stations playing on the airwaves, FM radio, and they're not local. They're just locally operated. Where's all the local music? It's over there on Marshal Rock.
That's right. Appreciate it.
No, anytime. If there's any one thing that you could change within the local industry, whether it's media, promoting, recording, the bands themselves, if there's one thing that you could change for the better, what would it be?
just more people connecting and helping each other to do better would be my dream for the future. If the local industry would just be, everybody teaming up and doing these festivals together is fantastic. um Rock the Equinox and Rocklahoma and all those Twister Fest, and support these venues that are housing these bands too, because otherwise they've got no place to play.
That's right. We've got some decent venues around here too.
Yeah, we do. The Vanguard, the Shrine,
The
the Bowman
Bowman Twin
Center.
Event Center.
Yeah,
That's a nice little venue. It's up and coming.
I've never been there, but I'll check it out definitely.
That's where I did the first show, and I want to do another one there.
Okay.
For now, they're a lot easier to get into than the big ones. But once they become discovered, guys, watch out over there. I have to bring you in sometime and get something booked out there at the Bowman.
Okay, we'll do
And
that.
then do some live podcast out there.
Yep.
Maybe even get some live music recorded for the show.
That would be good. Yeah. I'd like to do some more recording.
Mm-hmm. So we'll definitely have to stay in touch and work something out.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, I'm going to that show in Ponca next Saturday. If you want to show up, that would be great.
I'm looking. I'm actually, Monday, 24th, Friday, Saturday. The only thing I have Saturday is Beggar's Whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of open time since he's a trucker.
Oh, yeah.
No. Sorry, that's Camp Rockaholics. See, I have the name like Marshal Rock in black, and then in red I have the date and time. So yeah, so I almost like dyslexic, but not. So yeah, I have Remy from Camp Rockaholics Saturday, open time. So I could probably go. I just need a ride. Did I lose you? Did I lose you? Are you muted? I can't hear you. Still don't hear you yet. Gotta love the gremlins. Can you hear me? You can hear me? No? You can hear me. We might have to go and call this done then. I don't know if I can't hear you. It has been a great pleasure. Yeah, what I'm seeing on the screen, by the way, is really delayed. So try not to talk over you, but it is a great pleasure having you on. Um, Even though the Gremlins decided to come out, guys, ladies and gentlemen, this is Jayme of Marshal Rock. She'll post in the comments later um, of where to go to submit your music and how you can get your music played on your phone or whatever, like to be able to listen to it, download the app, stuff like that. She'll give you all that information in the comments, and you guys go give her some support and support each other, support local music, regardless of where it's at. Jayme, anything else you want to say? Well, I can't hear you. You're good. Thank you very much. All right. Guys, you take care. Peace out. Much love to each other. We'll see you next time.